What's up, everyone? Hope y'all are doing well. All right, so today we are going to be discussing about how can anyone go ahead and get hold of XRD. What is XRD? XRD is basically a currency of the network Radix. And what is Radix? Radix is a layer one network to build crypto applications or Web3 applications on top of it, right? So let's jump right in. But before we do that, like all the links that we discuss in this video is going to be on the show notes. So just make sure to check out the description for all of them and you'll get it, right? So now let's jump right in. So first of all, before we go into like how to actually buy Radix or where to buy it, we just going to cover some of the macro innovations that has taken place over the years in this industry, right? So what do we know? Like if you have been in already in this industry, you know this for sure. But like, I mean, if you have done some research also, you must be knowing that. But if you don't, we're just going to catch you up to speed in just a bit, right? So L1s and the innovations for aspiring crypto and Web3 developers. Why? Because like developers want to build applications on top of all these networks. Now, what we have seen is we have seen Bitcoin come up with the whole concept of like blockchain and cryptocurrency. We cannot deny that, right? They have actually brought that whole concept into production for the first time in back in like 2008, 2009, right? Now, Ethereum comes about and says, hey, Bitcoin is great, it's all amazing, but it's really challenging to build applications on top of this. So now, what do they actually need? They need smart contracts. So they came up with the whole concept of like smart contracts, right? So that's what Ethereum got into the system. Now, Solana comes about and says, hey, it's great. We really appreciate the innovation from like Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's amazing, smart contracts and all that stuff. But we need to make this much more efficient, to transact, to all the transaction fees, and all that good stuff. Like, so what Solana does is Solana brings in their eight core innovation, eight pillar innovations, right? You can just Google it and you'll find it, right? So if you've used Solana, you know for sure. If you've used Ethereum and Solana, you know the difference, right? Like less gas, transactions super fast, and like all that stuff. We have done a lot of demo videos and tutorials on our channel, so you must have seen like how fast it is. So Solana comes up with a much more efficient sort of a network, and it is improving day by day. Now Aptos and Sui network, they come about. They're two different networks, but I combined them in one because they were the team who were building DM the crypto, which the stable coin or like CBDC, what Facebook or Meta, now they call it Meta, they were building. So the team who was innovating on that project, they spun up their own projects in this whole decentralized space. They are not affiliated with Facebook anymore. They created their own network. So if you just go ahead and read their white paper, you'll understand that hey, they're actually moving the industry forward. Okay, they have brought in like Move programming language, the block XTM. So they've brought in all these key innovations, which is great. We're providing the developers the tools that they want in order to build applications on all these distributed networks. Now, Radix comes about and says, hey, we have been researching for 9 to 10 years and also building a network which provides the best developer experience, because we have understood the challenges of Bitcoin, we have understood the challenges of Ethereum, Solana, Aptos, and Sui, and then they're innovating. They brought in. If you look at the tech stack, Radix's tech stack, you will see like they have a Web3 asset oriented programming language called Scripto, which is just S and then crypto. Simple, right? And it sounds good. And also they bring in the Radix engine, which is something like EVM, like Ethereum Virtual Machine, like the environment to build and deploy smart contracts. And of course, they have their Cerberus, which is the consensus. It's called Cerberus. Cerberus is just like, how the network comes into consensus or like they comes into an agreement, right? So they have all these cool concepts. And if you watched the RadFi event, which was in around like December 8th, I guess. So you have gotten a good glance about like what's going to come in the near future for the Radix as a network. Of course, a key thing to mention in that was the Radix wallet. So you must have seen like how user friendly that wallet is, and some of the things it makes it feel much more like just a normal application, right? Nothing sort of like crypto and all that seed phrase and all of that stuff, because they're they're going to have different options and to provide the best user experience, right? All this is possible once the developer experience is solved. Like I said, the developer improving the developer experience is very critical to build much more better user-friendly applications or much more intuitive like dApps or whatever you want to build on top of like all these distributed networks. So improve the developer experience because that's going to take care of the UI UX, right? So that's what Radix brings in. Now, we're going to be deep diving into Radix in a whole separate video, the tech stack, and we're going to be doing a lot of like videos and tutorials and all that in a separate video. But now let's jump into like some of the things what like the developers or in Radix or like the folks who are discovering Radix or like Scripto for the first time. This person on Telegram, he goes on to say it's really good. He says, I've never had the intention to start studying Solidity. As you know, Solidity is the language to build on Ethereum and EVM networks. So Solidity, he goes on to say, like, because I always find it a bit strange and it seems complicated. It is a bit challenging, right, to build with Solidity if you haven't spent at least like 3 to 4 years, like full time building on Solidity. It is complicated to pick it up, right? Now, he goes on to say, last week I started looking into Scripto, which is the programming language for Radix. It says he goes on to say it's just easy to understand in my opinion. It must be a relief for Solidity devs to work with Scripto, and then he does this, right? So I mean, of course, it's not to diss on like Solidity devs or any other Web3 dev. I think like all of you guys are like super talented, but nevertheless, if you haven't checked out like Scripto and the Radix tech stack, I highly recommend you do that right now. Like get started today and start building DeFi or any other Web3 applications that you want, like or crypto applications on Radix. Why? You can build on any other chain, doesn't really matter. You're still moving the whole industry forward. But nevertheless, if you want to build much more secure dApps, if you want to have a better developer experience, I mean, I highly recommend to check Scripto out because there's been a lot of talk, like not just talk, like people are actually building. If you just go to their Discord and you will see all these developers, they're super friendly. Just jump there and start asking questions if you're a developer and get started. And if you're a user, let's get into some of the other cool stuff. Right now, one key thing to note is Radix is an upcoming L1, right? If you're here in crypto for years, you have rode like so many waves, like all these networks coming from like they're upcoming and nobody's seeing, and then it just goes on to become like big networks, just like Solana, Ethereum, Bitcoin, all these networks. So you have to pay we have to pay a lot of attention when when an upcoming layer one is coming up, and we have to pay a lot of attention. Now, the special thing about Radix is they don't like the smart contracts, what they call as components and all these blueprints and all of that stuff. It's not deployed yet on the main net. It is going to be deployed on the mainnet in Q2 2023, which is just in a few months, right? Nevertheless, I haven't seen an economy or an ecosystem building applications even before smart contracts are deployed on the mainnet, right? These are all applications which are building using Scripto, and these are just few projects which are building on top of this. As you can see over here, decentralized exchanges, NFT marketplace, you have NFT projects, you have information on all these. Of course, we got to have some meme coins, right? And all that stuff. Of course, you have gaming and all that stuff, but it's super early. The ecosystem is super early, super young, so but hats off to them, like all the devs who are building on top of this and the core team itself. Why? Because we've managed to already, like, let's say the TVL on all of these dApps which are not yet on the main net with smart contracts, they already have like 34 million XRD which is locked in these dApps, or like they are being used, or just in the dApps. We have also seen that's around like 1.8 million US dollars. And if you see, like, of course, staking, what staking is, you just, if you have some XRD, you can go ahead and stake it and you can earn some rewards. We have discussed this in the previous video, so make sure to check that out. Probably I'll link it somewhere at the end of this video. If you haven't watched that, highly recommend go ahead and watch that, because we actually showed you actually how to, or demoed you how to actually go ahead and stake using two different methods or processes. Now, coming to staking side of things, there's almost like 3.3 billion XRD which is already staked, which is mind blowing. And now, if you convert that to US dollar, is somewhere around like 177 million. Now, of course, like at the moment, you can play around with all of these dApps, and you can actually see how the network performs. And I've played around with a few of these dApps, and we're going to be showing a few more how to actually use these dApps and so on and so forth. So if you have any questions, make sure to leave that in the comments, or any other projects around like Radix. If you feel it's important, I'll check that out, right? Nevertheless, let's look at all-time users and what the all-time user stats look like. It's around like 21,580 to be precise, and the transactions in XRD is around like 440 million, right, at the moment, and US dollar in around it's around like 23 million US dollars. So that's really amazing to see from the network, because why? Like I said, smart contracts are going to be deployed in quarter 2 2023, but the developers are already building and growing this economy. So I highly recommend to pay a lot of attention to Radix. If you haven't started building on Radix, or if you haven't researched Radix, I highly recommend start researching. They have an amazing blog on their website, which we'll get to in just a bit. But now, coming into how to actually buy Radix, or where to buy it. If you're new to crypto, you must be wondering where to go, where all these sites to look for. If you're already a degen, or like if you're in the space, or like in the crypto space, you know where to go. But anyways, CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap, and there are so many data aggregators for all of these coins and tokens and all these crypto assets, let's say. Now, if you go to CoinGecko and just search over here XRD. Now, once you search XRD, you will have all of these options. There could be a lot more, so you look over your Raven Dark, and then you have like XRD Doge and all that good stuff. But I mean, you got to focus on the one which is like this, the blue color with the square root and XRD, right? This one is Ethereum XRD. This was like way back when, like, when XRD was not launched in the network itself, like the coin itself. So that's when it started trading on Ethereum side. You can always check that out on Uniswap, I guess, and you can find that. But I highly recommend just go ahead with like the XRD, simple XRD, because that's the native coin and native currency of the network. So that's what we are looking to buy, right? So once you get there, just click on that. You'll come down to this page. You'll see all the trading volume, market cap, and all that stuff. Trading volume is around like 800K right now, 844K, so which is great, and it's ranked like 85, which is pretty great, for an upcoming L1 ecosystem and an upcoming token or coin, let's say. Now, once you do that, just click on markets. Like, here you'll find different markets from different centralized exchanges, and how you can trade them with different other assets. So you can see you have USD pair, USDT, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you have all of that. Mexi, you have like on Mexi Global, you can do it with Tether. So you have all these coins. Now, one key thing to note over here, as you see, like I mentioned, it's an upcoming L1. It's very young right now. So all of these other exchanges, the big top exchanges like Kraken, or like Binance, is not there yet, but it's going to be integrated soon. Okay, because there are some technical things what all of these exchanges need to actually focus on, because once a network is upgraded to a different state, they need to be able to they need to change a lot of stuff and do a lot of like operations like coding and all that stuff in order to actually integrate or to the upgraded network. So I guess, like, from what I see is, any L1 token will have like all of these top exchanges, just a matter of time, right? And matter of time in the sense, probably this year, by the end of this year, you will have all of these exchanges, listing XRD. So what will happen then? You'll have more users, more visibility, more volume, and all that good stuff. So before that, we want to position ourselves. And how can we position ourselves to ride the wave? We need to get hold of XRD. So all of these markets, you can just click on them, just click on all of these, just sign up. If you don't have Bitfinex or whatever exchanges you prefer, if you're in Europe, just go with like Mexi. It's pretty simple. Or any other, like, I mean, you can just go with any other. You must be having like 20 different accounts, right? So yeah, check that out. and just click on them and just they'll take you directly to the market. Of course, you need to sign in and it'll go to the market directly. Now, if you're saying, hey, I just want to get hold of like a small little bunch of XRD, where do I go? How can I easily buy it with my credit card or my Apple Pay and all these other normal methods of like payments? You can just go to buy XRD. The domain name itself, the domain name itself is super nice. It's like buyxrd.com. Of course, it's powered by Aussie Swap. Aussie Swap, as you know, it's a DEX right here. So as you can see, it's a DEX, decentralized exchange. So it's powered by them. The site is created by them, and you can just read about what XRD is, what Radix is, da da da. But nevertheless, we want to focus on this portion. Why? Because that's how we can get hold of XRD, right? Or Radix tokens or crypto. So if you just click here, you will see you have US dollars, euros, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and any other altcoin that you want to use. So Switch here, this is an integration from Switch here. So if you have a Switch here account, all you need to do is just log into your Switch here account, and then you can just go ahead and get this. You also have live chat if you want to go ahead and chat with their customer support and so on and so forth. But anyways, just plug in the numbers over your. I think like if you purchase anything below like 10,000, you don't need to verify your you don't need to verify in order to upgrade your level of the account. But if you're doing something less than like 10,000, you can do this pretty simply. All you need to do is just have a switcher account and log in. Just do the normal KYC verification and you're through. Like I actually tested this, and for the first order, it seems they have 0% service fee. So that's great. So just verify your ID and pay 0% service fee. So that's amazing. I've actually tried Switcher a few weeks ago, and it's pretty simple. Like within 2 to 3 minutes, probably you must have already purchased and also transferred your XRD coin to your wallet, to your hardware wallet or whatever XRD wallet that you're using, right? So you can see all the details right here. You can see they also accept like Apple Pay, like I mentioned, Visa, MasterCard, whatever you have, SEPA transfers and all that good stuff, right? So this is one way to get it. And this is a community site which is powered by AussieSwap. They're trustworthy. Of course, Luca, big shout out to him. He's doing an amazing job with like AussieSwap and all the other ecosystem partners. So that's great. Like they're building. Now, if you want to actually go to their official site, you say, hey, I don't trust all of these community sites. I want to go to the official sites and I want to actually get hold of XRD. So just go to RadixDLT.com, which is the official website. And in the previous video, we have seen how to go ahead and like stake Radix. If you haven't watched that video, I'll probably link it along with this video. You can check that out. We have shown like 2 different ways on how to actually go ahead and stake Radix if you already have it. If you're a developer, highly recommend building on Scripto. I've shown you some of the comments from like, the developers right there. And of course, we have, if you're new to Radix and if you're trying to get hold of Radix and ride the whole wave, just go ahead and buy some XRD, right? It's not financial advice. You can do whatever you want, but I like to just be early on all these L1 networks, right? Which have, like I said, like all these core innovations are very critical in my opinion, okay? And we need to pay a lot more attention to that. Of course, like whatever networks that you transact with, that's great, but pay attention to Radix. That's what I recommend. Of course, just click on buy XRD. So just go to the spot, just click on buy XRD. It's going to take you to the section where they have a lot more information about how can you buy XRD. As you can see over here, you can buy XRD with your card, with your Visa card, MasterCard, whatever credit card that you have, and just click here and it'll show the same pop-up, right? Switch here. And I've seen this on multiple like community websites, on multiple different community websites. It's just an iframe which is integrated within any website. You can do that as well. So yeah, it's the same solution right here, powered by like Switcher. So if you have an account, you can do that. You can just get hold of XRD. It's going to lock in the price, and it's going to get you the XRD. You can put in your Radix wallet, and it's going to transfer it to your Radix wallet. No problem at all. right? So if you have any questions or something, of course, hop on to Radix Discord channel or like Telegram channel, and there are so many folks who would be able to like assist you and guide you through the whole process. Nevertheless, here are some of like the other exchanges which was here as we have seen in CoinGecko. Some of the centralized exchanges. Like I said, on Uniswap you have the EXRD, but just go stick to the XRD, the main coin, right? So that's how you go. That's how you can join all these communities right here. If you're a developer, go ahead and start building on Scripter right now. Now, I hope you got a good understanding of like how to get hold of XRD right now. You can do it through like community websites or through the Radix website itself. So whatever you choose, I'm going to link everything, like all the links what we discussed is going to be in the show notes in the description. So make sure to check that out. So yeah, of course, if you have any comments like or any other applications that you're looking forward to, or like you want me to research on that, like I'm definitely going to do a lot more video on this about this network as it grows. So yeah, get in, the price is down. You buy when you see red. When you see red, you like we buy. Like I mean DCA. That's it. When it's green, chill. It's time to chill. It's take some profit and all that stuff. Do if you're a trader, you can do all your trading stuff. But me, I mean, this is like super undervalued in my opinion right now. And since we don't have like all these big exchanges yet, so we have to position ourselves, right? Of course, like I mean, just imagine like Solana. When I saw Solana is like probably like $1 or like probably is like 50 cents to 70 cents to $1 or something like that. But anyways, like getting in early into the point that I want to make is like getting in early into L1 plays is already very lucrative, let's say in that way. So yeah, you can decide. I highly recommend to research much more about Radix. Just have conversations with the community and just let me know what you think. Like, yeah, I hope. This video has covered most of the ways on how to get Radix. So yeah, thank you so much, and you have a nice day. All right, so I'll see you when I see you. Ciao, ciao.